In this video, you'll witness the incredible mind-reading magic acts of the famous mentalist Oz Pearlman. Mentalists are individuals who can astonishingly uncover the thoughts in your mind with their remarkable skills. In this video, Oz performs similar feats that leave the entire audience in awe. And now, we are about to uncover the secrets behind Oz's mind-reading tricks. If you enjoy the video, be sure to show your support by liking it. For this act, magician Oz Pearlman first comes to the judges with a notepad and a marker pen. The magician writes Heidi's name on the notepad and then asks her to think of any number less than 100.
Think of a number less than 100.
After that, Oz writes something on the notepad. Now, Oz asks Heidi to reveal the number she had in mind, and it turns out to be the number 57.
Now, what was that number?
57.
After that, the magician reveals his notepad, and everyone is amazed because the magician had written the exact same number, 57, on the notepad. Following this, Oz turns to the show's second judge, Mel B, and asks her to think about a memorable vacation. Oz hands Mel B a paper and a marker, instructing her to write down the location of that vacation and also the name of the person who accompanied her on that trip. Oz then turns the other way, and meanwhile, Mel B writes down Fiji as the location and Jerry as the person's name on the paper. After doing so, she shows it to everyone except Oz. Oz takes the paper from Mel B and tears it into several pieces without looking at it. Now, Oz asks Mel B about the year she went on that vacation, and Mel B reveals it was 1998. The magician notes this on his notepad. Following that, Oz takes out an envelope from his coat pocket labeled Prediction. The envelope is securely pinned from all sides and completely sealed. Oz hands this envelope to the show's other judge, Howard, for him to open. When the envelope is opened and Howard reads the note inside, everyone is astonished. The note contains the exact location, exact date, and the exact name of the person Mel B had in mind. But how? How does the magician manage to guess the number someone is thinking of? How did the magician know in advance that Mel B was thinking about which vacation? Have the judges colluded with the magician, or is it some kind of magical or extraordinary trick by the magician? Now we are going to find out the secret behind this magic. Before that, if you enjoyed Oz Pearlman's amazing mind-reading act, be sure to like the video, and for more magic reveals like this, subscribe to this channel. Now let's find out the secret behind this magic. In this act, magician Oz Pearlman first approaches the judges with a notepad and a marker and asks Judge Heidi to think of a number. He then writes something in his notepad. Heidi thinks of the number 57, and when Oz reveals his notepad, the number 57 is also written on it. However, if you look closely, the number is written in a very peculiar way. If you compare the handwriting above and below, even if the magician predicted the number and wrote it, the writing should have been more consistent. Additionally, if you watch Oz in slow motion as he writes the number on the notepad, his hand movements give the impression that he's writing 26. You can observe the round movement of his hands in the end. So, it's clear now that Oz didn't predict anything here. In reality, Oz isn't actually writing anything on the notepad. If you look closely right after that, Oz is holding the notepad with his left hand, while his right hand is directed towards his pocket. It's during this moment that Oz cleverly wears a thumb-tip writer on his thumb, which was already present in his pocket. After that, you can easily deduce from his notepad holding technique that he can now effortlessly write on the notepad using the thumb-tip writer. After this, Oz asks Heidi to reveal the number to everyone, which is 57.
Now, what was that number?
57.
As soon as he hears the number, Oz uses the thumb-tip writer to write it on the notepad. This way, Oz smoothly completes the first part of his mind-reading act. Now, let's move on to the second part where Oz gives a paper to Mel B and asks her to write down the name of her favorite vacation spot and the name of the person with her on that vacation. The paper is filled on all four sides, and there's only space in the center to write. In magic, even the smallest details matter, which often go unnoticed by the general audience. In this case, there's a specific reason for the paper being arranged in this way, and we'll explore it further. After receiving the paper, Melby wrote Fiji as the vacation spot and Jerry as the person's name. The magician currently has no idea about Melby's chosen vacation or what she has written on the paper. After folding the paper, the magician takes it in his hands and proceeds to tear it into multiple pieces. But this is where the whole trick lies, and the reason for the paper being arranged this way. In reality, when the magician takes the paper in his hands and tears it into pieces, he does it in such a way that it gives the illusion of the paper being torn apart. However, the center part of the paper remains completely intact, and the magician cleverly sees it. After seeing what's written on the paper, Oz further tears it into pieces, erasing any evidence of the trick. Now, the magician knows what Melby was thinking about regarding the place and the person, but the question remains, how was this prediction inside the sealed envelope? In reality, inside this packet, there were two things. One was carbon paper, and the other was a pre-written note with just 3 blanks left empty. If you notice, Oz was using a marker in the first act. But here, when Oz asks Melby about the year and pretends to write on the notepad, he is using a pen that is actually inkless. Oz is actually writing on the envelope hidden behind the notepad. Now, since Oz has already seen the place and person's names on the paper, he cleverly asks Melby about the year, pretending to write it on the notepad. While acting, he uses the inkless pen to fill in the blanks for place, year, and person's name on the envelope from above. By doing this, the carbon paper inside the envelope transfers the writing onto the pre-written note underneath. Now, the magician cleverly distracts everyone with his words, hiding the envelope present behind the notepad in his left hand. He then pretends to pull the envelope out of his coat, making it seem like he's revealing it for the first time. When the sealed envelope is torn, the prediction note inside unfolds, displaying exactly what Melby had thought about. And this is how magician Oz Pearlman, with his amazing mind-reading act, leaves everyone astonished. And now you also know the secret behind this incredible magic. We work hard to bring you these videos, so please be sure to like the video. If you are new to this channel, subscribe and press the bell icon to receive notifications for all upcoming videos.